Hi everyone, this is my first video blog. I'm catching up with technology. I would like to share a recent journey I had. Some of you know I'm in Ireland and right now I'm sitting in Helen Finnegan's art studio at the Finnegan home in Kells, Ireland. This is a pinnacle point for me because, as you know, I've been blogging about my journey since I have moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and then did a little journey into California and then on to Santa Fe, and now I'm here in Ireland. But at this juncture, I realize that what I'm doing now is I'm actually living what I was dreaming about prior to 2012. So at that time, I felt it was important that I dream about what I wanted to see and how I wanted to live and how I wanted the fifth dimension to look and be, and all of that was, people living harmoniously, weaving the tapestry of life, bringing in their gifts and sharing, and everyone honoring the differences rather than being afraid of differences. There's no fear, all love, all sharing, everyone's abundant, no borders, just joy, happiness. Of course, we have our waves of, down times and up times. But that's how I saw it. And I saw myself just traveling around and meeting new people and experiencing new cultures and doing new things and sharing my voice in whichever way I decided to create. So it just dawned on me, that's what I'm doing. That's what's happening right now. So we're here. And it's a magical mystery tour. It really is. And you have to embrace it. You have to claim it for it to show up. And that was, my most recent blog was about that. And it's here. So I met up with my friend, Elisa Hurley. She's in Athlone right now. And a friend of hers came, Nicholas Perrin, and we all met at the Hill of Ishnock. And that began a week-long journey of us visiting sacred sites together. So at the Hill of Ishnock, we'd already had some synchronicities happen. Marty, our tour guide, likes to talk about the stories behind the site, the mythology, the sacredness, rather than the archaeological information about the site. So we got to hear what we wanted to hear, and we had a nice connection with Marty and the other people that were on the tour with us. But when you reach the stone, it's considered the center of the earth, and also the center of Ireland, and it's a connection to Mother Earth, and it's feminine. And there was a certain spot on that stone when I sat there, I just felt all kinds of energy moving through me, and I really felt a strong connection with Mother Earth there. And it was quite magical. So we left there, and that was the beginning of our journey. Nicholas came with us to Athlone, and we planned our journey from there. So in general, every day we started with a meditation. We sat together and we meditated. And often one of us would get a hit about something, or two of us or three of us, and then we check in with each other and we say, yeah, that feels right. So that's how we started our day. We just followed the lead. And then we were finding all these synchronicities. Every day there were synchronicities. I couldn't begin to tell you all of them, and it would make this video very long. But there were a lot of numerological synchronicities, feelings, signs that showed up throughout the days, and I will mention a few of them. But also, as we journeyed, we all connected together. And sometimes it would be my idea for something, I'd get a strong feeling, or I'd get part of it, and then Elisa would get part of it, and then Nicholas would get part of it, and then it would all come together and it would all make perfect sense. And that just made it all the more exciting because we really weren't sure what we were doing, and we allowed it to unfold magically. So our first visit after the hill of Ishnok was to Loch Ray and the Cliffs of Moher. But when we went to Loch Ray, we didn't know we were going there. But during the meditation, Elisa got a hit on a tree, and Nicholas got a hit on a lake possibly, and I had gotten the hit on going to the Cliffs of Moher the night before, and then it was a stronger hit during meditation that it was the Cliffs of Moher, and everyone else felt that strongly too. So we knew we were heading in that direction. So we all agreed, and we all kind of kept in mind about the tree and the lake. But we went in the wrong direction when we got in the car, and Nicholas had to turn around, and we pulled in a driveway, and it said the Grove House. And right away, Lisa said, let's pay attention to that. That means something to us. So then we went on our way, and Nicholas was saying how his GPS was taking him a back roads route to the Cliffs of Moher. Well, it turns out we were passing La Courée. So as we approached the lake, we were all admiring it. We were all drawn to it, but none of us really said to stop. And then Nicholas's GPS went on the blink, and then he got a strong message that we needed to turn around, and we turned around. And then Lisa started feeling the tree, and then she saw this tree in a grove of trees at the top of a hill on the other side of the lake. So we went there, and we all connected with this tree, and we got information from the tree that we needed to encircle the tree and hold hands, and that we would be gifted. And during that, Nicholas received a message that he received a green emerald bow that we were to shoot from the Cliffs of Moher. So for me, as he was saying that, I was feeling right away that was our song from our hearts as we voice toned. High Brazil is a magical place, or it's like an Atlantis or Lemuria that Elisa had found out about when she first came. So we all were intrigued by it and received a meditation that we would connect with High Brazil. And it all felt very important to all three of us. So Nicholas did get the information that we would reach High Brazil from the Cliffs of Moher. So we had our experience with the tree and in the grove, and then we came down to the lake. And I was looking at the lake. I was very drawn to the lake. I just couldn't stop looking at the lake. And then suddenly I got a strong message that there was a crystal bed placed under the lake, and that the water of the lake is highly charged energy to help people move through these times. So then we continued our journey onto the Cliffs of Moher. So then we went up to the cliffs, and we found a spot to sit. And we just started voice toning and singing and playing the crystal bowls. And the sun was out in the middle of the ocean in this one area, and it just stayed there the whole time until we started singing, and then it started to move into shore, and then it moved back out there. But we all felt like the sun was highlighting where High Brazil would be. You can research High Brazil. It was an island that was on the maps in the 1800s, and there was some people that say they found it, and others say they couldn't find it. So my feeling is it existed in another dimension, and if you were in that vibration, you could find it. But if not, you weren't going to find it. So then, let me see. The next day, we went to Carol Keel, and we stopped at Boyle, the town of Boyle, on the way. And Nicholas and Elisa were both drawn to enter this art studio. I didn't really notice it at first. And we met this wonderful artist, Siobhan, and she was totally drawn to us immediately. And we had a nice conversation with her, and then we went to the coffee shop, and there was a woman there who was curious about Reiki. But during all of that conversation, we realized that we needed to speak out about everything we're experiencing. That it's not just that we're doing this, but we need to tell people about it. So that came clear while we were there. So then we moved on to Carrickeel. And it was way up a mountain, and there were sheep all over these mountains, and you drove into this valley with two high mountains on either side. And just as we got out of the car, and this was typical too, that we ended up having bad weather when we were on our way in to a site. So it started to rain, and we just went right on in and started climbing the mountain. And next thing you know, it's pouring. So we're all covered up with hoods over our heads and walking down this path. Well, here we missed the turn that went up to the very top of the mountain where the megalithic site was. So we ended up going back down the other side of the mountain onto a farm. But we all felt to keep going. None of us realized we were going the wrong way. And then we came upon this grove of trees again. It's more of a circle. And we walked in there, and it just felt like that circle drew us in. It really felt like it was an elemental village to me, like a lot of fairies and elves and whatever. There was a lot of moss all over. There was some farm equipment in there that was rusting away, and I think there was some place where the farmer gets his water from. But it just felt like it wanted to be acknowledged. And we acknowledged the elementals, we acknowledged the trees, we acknowledged how beautiful it was there, just all intentionally and intuitively. And we walked around a little bit, and then we said goodbye and we left. So it just really felt like we're really connecting in with the earth in all parts of it. And it just wanted to be acknowledged. So then we left there, and we went back up the mountain, and we found our turn. And we climbed up the mountain, and we found the tomb, the megalithic tomb. And we went in, and Nicholas got very strong vibes that we needed to sing there. And we did, and he started channeling some messages, and we were voice toning and singing, and it was just a strong feeling of, there was sad energy there, and he had the feeling that some souls were trapped there, and we helped release them, and we helped to activate the site and bring in brighter, newer energy. So as we're visiting these sites, and as other people visit sites, you bring your energy to the site, so you're activating the site as well, whether you know it or not. We're all participating in that. So that, it felt very significant. And it felt lighter when we were done. And we climbed out of the tomb, and the sun was starting to shine, and we walked down the hill and went home exhausted, as usual. So then we took a day off. We needed a day to regroup and build our energy up again and just have some time to ourselves. And then we went to the Rothashan site, and there's quite a few sites in that area. So we went to the Rothagran Mound. I'm not sure if I'm saying all these things quite right. Where they did crowning of the king there. And this time we each didn't talk very much beforehand, and we went to visit the site. We walked around it individually, and we had our own little experiences, and then we all met back in the car again. Even though we didn't really plan that, that's just how it happened. I went around the circle, and then I went to the middle, and I stood there, and I really felt energy moving through me, and then I felt more energy in the back of my head, and I suddenly realized I felt like I was channeling information. And then I suddenly felt like my heart energy, and it was expanding, and I was seeing it ripple out over the land. And then words came to me from the kings, the past kings of the land, and they were pre-Celts. So they were facilitators for their kingdom. It wasn't a hierarchy type kingdom. They worked together, and they wanted people to live in community. So I'm going to read what came through me. It's a benevolent, beautiful energy moving through me, and I was riding the ripples of love from my heart chakra. and it was going out over the kingdom as if I were in that time, and activating the realms of peace and love and awakening the people to a spirit of cooperation, community, and integrity, a time of benevolence. The king was a facilitator, not a ruler. The feminine was revered. And this was expressed by all. So there was more, but I just didn't write it all down. That's what they wanted me to know, and that's what they were sending through us, that we were bringing that energy back. So that was quite significant. Then when I told Nicholas and Elisa what I had experienced, Nicholas continued on with more information. We are here to express love in this world and begin in being human and spiritual beings. Creation is abundance and can only be abundant. And only through childlike curiosity is the key that you are seen. And there was more, but that was partly what I wrote down. So from there, we went on to the cave, and I was really anxious to get to the cave. The Cave of Cats, it's referred to. It's a little hole in the ground, and you go down and you're in this crevice in the earth, and you go down deep into the earth, and it's dark in there. If you don't have a light, you wouldn't know whether your eyes were closed or open. So in the cave, it was just pure magic. You were totally connected with the divine feminine. I don't even know whether to say it's just Gaia or if it's the cosmic mother, but it was the divine feminine energy. The walls were wet. There was a little bit of water dripping from the ceiling. We were in mud. We took our shoes off and walked in the mud. It was like clay, so it was real silky and slippery. And it was just, I felt so honored to be there. And we sat down, we found a spot, and I sat down and we played the bowls and we voice toned, and it was just pure magic. And we were all just humbled and just feeling the divine love of the mother. And I just got the feeling that I've arrived. We've arrived. This was arrival. This is where I've been wanting to get to, and I'm here. I'm here in the womb of the mother, just experiencing her divine love. It was like a memory. I started to cry, and it was a memory almost of what it felt like to be there. So that was a time of magic and mystery. This whole journey has been a time of magic and mystery. And it's just a willingness to embrace it. It's not obvious in front of your eyes, but for me, I feel. So it was a feeling and a knowing, and we all received in our own ways. But it's honoring what you're receiving, and it's honoring that we're here and we're connecting with the earth, and we're connecting with the plants, and we're connecting with the animals, and connecting with the elementals, even though I don't see them. But I just acknowledge that they're there, and I know that they're there. I just have a feeling that they're there. They invited us in. It's been really magical. So the next site was the next day, and we stopped at La Cour Stone Circle, and it was on our way down south. We were going to go spend the night in Cork, or near Cork somewhere. So as we approached the circle, on the way there, I just felt I needed to go within, so I just put headphones on and listened to music, and I didn't really engage in conversation on the way there. But about 10 miles out, I took my headphones off and found that Nicholas and Elisa were both they were feeling energies, they were starting to channel or feel a galactic presence with us, and I was starting to feel energy on my spine. And so we just all honored that. We were quiet the rest of the way there. And we got out and we walked around the circle. And we had our own little connection with the circle. And then we met in the middle. It was a big stone circle, very large. I'm not sure how many stones. And we met in the middle. I played both bowls, and we sang and toned, and Nicholas channeled, and he said there's a galactic presence here. It was a galactic goddess, and she was grateful that the feminine has risen because she couldn't come here until now. He talked more about the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how important it is, and that we're doing it, and everything's great. Then, as I got up and played my blue bowl, which I also often feel like is cosmic energy and divine masculine energy, the trees just started to just take right off, and I just felt like, wow, we just opened a huge portal of divine love to the planet. It was just a feeling I got. Not sure exactly what happened, but we're trusting everything we're getting. The next day, we went to the Killarney Forest, and that was kind of a time of rest, but really it was a time to honor that in ourselves and connect with the forest and connect with the trees and the plants and the animals. We connected with the buck. We connected with a moose, and both on the way in, on the way out, this moose is still present on the other side of the hedge. We could see its rack. It was 16 points. Turns out it had a family with it as well, but it hung around. It hung around to see us. So that was amazing. So that was just a time of integration and honoring and being present. And, I walked around and just, communed with the trees and built a little stone pyramid and things like that, just playing around. So then we went into Killarney, which I actually like that little town, and had lunch, and then we headed up the mountains, and the mountains were beautiful. So our next stop was Keekill Stone Circle, which is pretty close to the ocean. And we went up there, and Elisa had a strong connection there. She had history there. Her grandfather lived in a community near that stone circle. So she also had a past life experience there as well. But as you enter the circle, there was a stone circle of 5 stones, and then there were 2 tall stones standing straight up. And then on the other side of that it appeared to be a spiral of stones. So, I was tuning in, trying to feel what I thought it was. And I felt like the first stone circle of 5 stones represented earth, and it represented the elements. So it would be earth, fire, water, air, and ether. And then the 2 stones represented male, female energy and a portal. So as you walk through that, then you enter the spiral, and the spiral for me was universal energy. It was a portal to the universe. So I went and sat in the spiral after a while, and the other 2 joined them when they were ready. And again, we started ceremony. Our ceremony, we do an invocation. One of us takes the lead one day, and another one takes the lead another day, and someone might not say anything. It all happened organically. And then we started to play the bowls and voice, tone, and sing. And a woman came with 2 children. It seemed very significant that they were there, and they came and sat down with us for a while. And Lisa passed on a shell to one of the children that she had brought there. We're not sure the significance of all of that, but we felt it was significant. And it just felt very loving, very deeply loving. I felt like I was very much in resonance with that energy. It felt like more resonant. So it did feel like a universal portal to me. And we just did the ceremony, and we left. Of course, it was raining there as well. And none of us slept that night. No, I take that back. Nicholas slept. And Elisa and I didn't sleep at all that night. We should have had a party all night, but we didn't know. So anyway, we were tired after that, and we felt like we were done. we were done. And it was magical. It was mystical, and we allowed it to be, and we were present for everything that showed up. We all had individual things show up, shadow things that showed up that needed to come out. We had interpersonal things between the three of us that we had to work through, and then we had the collective things that we were working on. But it was all in harmony. We were all in honor and respect and love at all times for all parts. And that's the new paradigm. It doesn't matter what you're going through. We're honoring and loving and respecting everything and everyone. And we can move through life in so much more joy. So I invite you to invite the magic into your life. So expect your life to be magical and mystical, and be open and present to every little thing. Honor yourself, honor others, and enjoy the journey. Thank you all. I love you all. Many blessings.